Okay, I wanted to do a video about the oil pressure switch on the square body pickups. Here's the oil pressure switch itself. As you can see here in the video, I've already taken it out. It goes up here where I put this gauge, and I'll talk about that in a minute where this gauge is. But it's how to test your oil pressure switch. Okay, you'll put on your multimeter, you'll put the positive lead here. After you disconnect it from the vehicle, you'll put the positive lead here, and it'll already be still connected up here to the oil itself, to the engine. And what you'll do is you'll put a positive lead here, and then somewhere on the body or somewhere on the piping, just touch ground and take a reading when the vehicle's off, and you should get 0, which would mean it's shorted straight to ground. And then when you turn the engine on, you should get about 30 to 55 ohms. Okay, and it should be clean, it should be consistent, steady, like, you know, 30, 35, 30, 35, or 50, 55, 50, 55, something like that, where it's not bouncing around. When I did this oil pressure switch here for a gauge, this is for a gauge type, it was bouncing around from 0 to 60 to 100 to ohms to 120 ohms to 90 to 70 to 60 to 0. So it was going all over the place. So just to make sure that this thing was not right, I went on down to Harbor Freight and got a gauge, a 160 psi gauge rated for oil. You got to make sure it's an oil, not an air type. It's got to be for oil and gas. And I got a connector fitting at Lowe's for like $4. So I got the gauge for about $5 and the connector fitting for about $4, and connected it to my old connection. I had to rotate it a little for the oil pressure switch that connects there. It's a 1/4 18 thread MPTF. Basically, you can make your own like I did for $9, or you can spend $18 to $45 on an oil pressure test kit. It's up to you. It's whatever you want to do. But anyway, I hooked this bad boy up, and definitely I was getting good PSI. So definitely my switch is bad. This is the only way you really can check to make sure that your engine's putting out oil pressure, is to actually put a gauge on it. So